This is Ain't No Way MMA. My name's Caitlin. I'm the producer of this show. And today, Gabriel's going to be ranting for the next 10 to 15 minutes about the UFC 310 early prelims.
Let's just go. Let's just fucking jump into it, right? Right. Let's just take off the training wheels. I just want to go and break down the entirety of UFC 310, but I want to start with the prelims. I am personally a big watch the prelims fan. I'm always gonna watch the fucking prelims because the prelims are the fucking best part of the game. I don't know if you watched UFC, kid. I don't know if you actually watch UFC, but the prelims are fucking better than anything else. There's always most of the fight of the nights come from the prelims, unless it's fucking Justin Gaethje versus fucking Max Holloway, unless it's fucking Max Holloway versus someone. he kind of gets part of the night almost every time he fights. But regardless, it's usually, unless it's a really big main event, the prelims steal the show. At least when it comes to like actual competitive, good knockouts, fun shit, or it's just complete mismatches, which a lot of this card is. It's a lot of fucking mismatches. Like to start, this isn't a mismatch, but I want to pretend like it is because I don't like Cody Durden at all. It's Cody Durden versus Joshua Van. I absolutely hate Cody Durden. This white hick trash. Just, he bothers me so much. And I don't know why. Actually, I know exactly why. He's white. I hate, you know me, Caitlin. I hate white people. No,
Can we zoom in on your skin color real quick?
I'm so brown, dude. Cody Durden specifically pisses me off because he's so confident and his fight style is trash generally. He's a wrestler with really trash hands that likes to say, "Oh, I fell in love with the boxing," but he's really bad at fucking boxing. And that's why I'm really excited for a guy like Joshua Van, who's actually active, who actually backs up the shit talk, who actually is exciting, to put him in his place. Especially the way how Joshua Van throws the hands and feet. He really mixes it up well. His Muay Thai style is fucking pressure based. It's pure fucking volume. 4-1 in the UFC. Started in 2023, mid last year, after dominating on the regional scene. They just brought him straight in. They didn't even need to bring him on Dana White's Contender Series, which is a surprise, but I fucking was all for it. But Cody Durden's 1-2 in his last three. I really enjoyed watching him get knocked out and sub back to back. I'm a D1 hater of Cody Durden. It's probably one of the only fighters I actually do dislike entirely. Just trash branding and always saying some dumb shit. I've got Joshua Van, maybe second round knockout. That's like my general prediction. But I can see this one being like pretty close from round one, and then the pressure builds up from Joshua Van. Round 2 and 3 starts to crumble. I'm saying round 3 TKO Joshua Van. That's at least my fucking hope. If he doesn't get it done and Cody Durden somehow beats him, I'm gonna be really upset though. I might tweak the fuck out, honestly. From there, we got Michael Chiesa, Max Griffin. Why is there so many old people on this fucking card? This card is a senior fucking home, dude. Max Griffin is 39, Michael Chiesa 36. The weird part is, personally to me, Michael Chiesa fights like he's 47, and Max Griffin fights like he's 36. This one feels super one-sided because Max Griffin's actually getting wins against credible people, unlike Michael Chiesa subbing Tony fucking Ferguson. Oh my God. We're not even gonna talk about Tony time right now.
Are you not a believer in old man strength?
I'm a believer in certain old men's strength. Like Max Griffin's 39, he's got hands. Michael Chiesa has no hands. He's a wrestler that can't even wrestle. His worst enemy is a Darce choke, bro. Like you just club and sub him all day. You just hit him once in the body and you go for a Darce and he just crumbles. He has the record in the UFC for most Darces hit against a fighter. It's just Michael Chiesa all alone with I think 3 or 4. Like bro just gets Darced like nobody's fucking business. Max Griffin, probably unanimous decision because his hands aren't that good. But generally, I could see us going to all 3 rounds, not being the most entertaining fight. But the name value's there. I know both the guys pretty well. If Chiesa can survive for 3 rounds, it'll be somewhat entertaining. But we'll see if he can. From there, Chase Hooper, Clay Guida, only my most anticipated fight of this fucking card. Chase Hooper, Jiu-Jitsu King himself. Chase Hooper fights like a newborn child. Or maybe a preteen that hit a growth spurt over the summer. He loves to just throw his limbs out like this when he's punching. But he did knock down a world-renowned kickboxer with a really good kickboxing record in Slava Claus, aka Vyacheslav Borshev. I can't remember his fucking name. Yeah, it's a cracked ass name, I'm telling you. Chase Hooper, it feels like one of those mythical fighters, specifically like Dracus du Plessis, where the stand-up is absolutely idiotic and there's no technique, literally just throwing himself off the cage, pulling mount, like straight into someone's mount. and then finishing the guy a round later. It doesn't make any sense. But Chase Hooper is kind of like that, but with like insane jiu-jitsu. And instead of like where Dricus Duplessis has the wrestling, Chase Hooper has the jiu-jitsu. I only worry about Clay Guida against Chase Hooper in the context of Clay Guida has a gas tank like a motherfucker, and Chase Hooper does too. But I don't even think it gets to the later rounds because Chase Hooper is a dog, and he's about to. I think he's gonna land like 75, 12-6 elbows, and then you're gonna just see Clay Guida in a bloody heap on the mat, on the fucking mat.
Do you know who the favorite is for Chase Hooper versus Guida?
I think it's like a 4-1 favorite for Chase because Clay Guida is like living out of a retirement home right now. Let me take that back. I love Clay Guida. Clay Guida is actually really fun to watch. He's always entertaining, fan favorite, but he's 39, 38, maybe even 40, and his record's like 38-24. He's like 1-3 in his last 4. He's a lot older. He's fun to put him against guys like Jim Miller and stuff like that. But when you bring him against young prospects like this, he's going to get rolls. I mean, the Teenage Dream's going to beat his ass. I think the biggest problem with doing these really old guys versus these really young guys is 99% of the time, the young guy kicks the old guy's ass. Unless it's like a Rob Font versus Kyler Phillips, which made me so fucking happy, by the way. I think the issue with that is just how big the age gap is. I think it's at least 14 years because I think Chase Hooper's around 24 now. He's been in the UFC for about 5-6 years, and he started when he was 18 off Dana White's Contender Series. So considering now he's putting his wins together, 3-fight win streak, and then he's going against a guy in Clay Guida who's on a 2-fight losing streak. I don't really understand the context. Like why? I understand it's a fun fight for the pay-per-view, but why bring him here? What's the point? What are we gaining? Is Chase Hooper getting a ranking? No. Is he getting a lot of more credibility for beating a guy like Guida? No. Is it a fun fight? Yes. But we should do the fun fights with a bunch of vets, not young guys going for, title credibility, And I don't think Chase Hooper's fighting for a title anytime soon. But it may be in the cards eventually. Who fucking knows? Maybe he gets his wiry frame, some muscle on it. From there, Kennedy Njoku, I think it is, versus Lucas Brzeski. I'm pretty sure it is. Lucas Brzeski sucks. I don't even want to talk about Lucas Brzeski. Let's just talk about Kennedy Njoku. Kennedy Njoku, man's like 6'7". He can't decide if he wants to fight at light heavyweight or heavyweight. Can you check if he's fighting this fight at light heavyweight or heavyweight? Because his last fight was heavyweight. Okay, heavyweight. First round knockout Kennedy, unless he doesn't move his head, because Kennedy Njoku has negative fight IQ. It's abysmal. I don't know what this guy's doing with his head. He's just right here throwing shots like this. I understand you're tall. You're not used to getting punched in the face. You're probably used to getting shot in the body a lot. But your chin's wide open. Anyone can throw an overhook, and you're just. I mean, it's happened before. It'll happen again. His last fight was a gimme against. Who's that lard buck who's 5'9" with the Taekwondo skills? Chris Barnett. Diabetes man himself. Chris Barnett injured his ankle in the walk up, in his corner. He did a hop and just his diabetes ankle rolled over. I mean, like, I don't want him fighting in the UFC. The competition's too high. It kind of just shows how horrible heavyweight is. Heavyweight sucks. Heavyweight is by far and large the worst division in the UFC, at least talent-wise. I mean, there's guys like, you think of like, name 3 prospects in heavyweight. You got fucking what, Mick Parkin? You can't really name anyone. You got Mick Parkin, who's actually a somewhat okay prospect. I think he just cracked the top 15. You got Jailton Almeida, who's a contender at this point. You can't really call him a prospect, but he's still young, so I maybe. List ends there. I don't know any other heavyweights. I mean, they tried to bring Robella Champagne or Despain into the fucking rankings, and remember what happened with that. He can't defend a takedown. All of his last 3 knockouts are within 15 seconds. They're all so short. I don't care. Can the man defend a takedown? This is UFC, man. We're not on the regional scene fighting guys who wash cars for a living. It's not hard. Yeah, Kennedy Njoku, probably a first-round slaughter, unless he forgets how to move his head again and then just gets plastered against the cage. Chris Weidman's coming back. We all asked for that. Versus Eric Anders. I do love Eric Anders. Eric Anders may be even in the UFC 8-8, but definition of heart, Eric Anders. I mean, he got dropped like 3 or 4 times against Khalil Roundtree. I think it was a UFC record for the light heavyweight division. Weathered the storm and then, EUD'd as usual. He puts up a fight almost every time, but I really don't know where his skill set is. I think his best aspect is his striking. So I don't really know Eric Enders is like what he used to be. I think he was a college football player at some point. He's very stocky. He's very big. He's very tough, but he doesn't really bring a lot to the table other than like fluke knockouts. And I'd say he's technically skilled, but doesn't have enough power, doesn't have enough speed for normal middleweights. But he's fighting a guy like Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman's chin is made of like that guy from SpongeBob, where he's like, I have glass bones and paper skin every morning. Like, I don't understand what you do with Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman thinks he can fight for the title again. No, Chris Weidman. I try to remember how old he is. I think he's almost 40. Former champ for sure. It's not good. I think I'll put a blindfold on this one and just be like, I don't know, I don't care. But it's a thing of where if Eric Anders wins, he has a win over a bigger name. Maybe he can catapult him to fighting 3 more guys before he can even get a ranked matchup. This is another fight where I'm like, what does this do for anyone? It might do something for Chris Weidman, actually. If Chris Weidman wins this and I pokes his way to another victory, if he sticks his fingers out like this enough times while shooting for the legs, he might pull off another beautiful victory. Get a top 15 guy that's going to flatline him and smudge him. There'll be some highlights and there'll be some absolute lowlights. One of these fights is going to absolutely suck on countouts, and the rest are going to be really good. I think that's how it's going to go. Or they're all going to suck. No, actually, there's no chance Joshua Van's fight and Chase Hooper's fight are bad. They're both absolute volume monsters, and they're pretty fun to watch. So that's the early prelims.